Welcome back. We just found out before the break that Betsy DeVos was, pardon me, selected as Secretary of Education. Now, that's not the first cabinet announcement today. Nikki Haley, South Carolina governor, was tapped to be U.S. ambassador to the UN. And relations between President-elect Trump and South Carolina's governor, they were less than cordial. You'll probably remember they were quite critical of each other during the election. It seems to have changed, though. In a statement announcing Haley has been nominated to be U.S. ambassador to the UN, Donald Trump stated this. He said, Governor Haley has a proven track record of bringing people together regardless of background or party affiliation to move critical policies forward for the betterment of her state and our country. Let's discuss this turn of events now. I'm joined by Congressman Adam Kinzinger. And Congressman, what was your reaction to this, especially as many people say she doesn't have a whole lot of foreign policy experience, but they also are feeling better, Republicans are, because she's a little more hawkish than Donald Trump?
I think it's a great pick. I mean, it shows again something that literally from Donald Trump's kind of election speech where he came out and it wasn't like gloating or bragging. There was a sense of humility of, hey, we need to come together as a country. We need to unite as a party in a country. And I think this furthers that, not just for the internal side of things, but Nikki Haley has shown an amazing, frankly, diplomatic skill set, not just in her job as governor, but in, the really sensitive time after the church shooting and then dealing with the Confederate flag issue. I think she's a great pick for Donald Trump, and I'm excited to see her. And I'm excited to see, frankly, all the new picks that are coming. It seems like Donald Trump is focused not just, again, on uniting the party, but in also uniting the country and saying, look, we're going to put the best people around in this job so that we can have some success here.
But what about the lack of foreign policy experience? I mean, your point is certainly well taken that following that, what was really potentially a crisis in her state, she did handle that very diplomatically. But without that substantive experience, we've heard Jason Miller say that she has this experience with trade, international trade. But, you talk to people and they say that's not really true.
Well, I mean, maybe she has that experience, maybe not. But I can tell you, when it comes to being a diplomat or it comes to being an ambassador to the United Nations or, frankly, to any other country, it's a skill set where it's more about bringing people together, negotiating solutions. I mean, she's not going to be at the United Nations basically independently making decisions about U.S. foreign policy. Those will be given to her by the administration. But where this skill set really comes in is the ability to negotiate issues, to bring maybe Russia and the United States and China together to deal with whatever the next big issue on the plate is, to say, how do we come to a solution for the sake of peace, humanity, and everything else. And so while foreign policy experience is always good to have in, frankly, any job, the ability to bring teams together and negotiate is what's most important when it comes to somebody in this position. I think she's a fantastic pick and will do very well.
I want to talk to you, Congressman, about, I wouldn't say it's a unique position that you find yourself in, but some people would look at it and say that it might be a little bit of an awkward position. I want to play for you what you said about Donald Trump back in August.
Donald Trump, for me, is beginning to cross a lot of red lines of the unforgivable in politics. And so, I'm not going to support Hillary, but, in America, we have the right to write somebody in or skip the vote and vote for Mark Kirk in Illinois, for instance. And that's what it's looking like for me today. I just don't see how I get to Donald Trump anymore.
Okay, you said that then. You said that you might write someone in, did you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm honest about that. Yeah, I followed through on what I said. But, the campaign is one thing. And there were a lot of things that he said in the campaign that I disagreed with, and I was very open about it. I was asked about him. But the moment after the campaign, now you have a president-elect, and now it's about supporting that president-elect, bringing people together that, in a campaign felt wounded or people that were angry or anything else, and saying, okay, now that process is over. Now it's about being president of the United States. And I frankly have been very excited by what I've seen come from Donald Trump, and as a Republican, I think it's going to be a good opportunity.
Which
things
are you excited by?
Well, I think there's things like, actually doing tax reform. I think there's issues like dealing with an infrastructure bill, seeing a new version of foreign policy from this administration versus the inaction we've seen from President Obama. So there's a lot of opportunity. But the other thing I want to make is this. I think you're going to see a President-elect Trump reach out not just to Republicans to unite them, but say, in areas we can work with Democrats, we ought to do that. I think it's the right thing to do. There's always going to be stuff that, Democrats don't agree with what we're doing. That's the nature of politics. But in areas like infrastructure and tax reform, I think there is an area to have Democratic input, and I'm excited to see if as a country we can work together like that.
All right, we are going to wait and see. We have a few weeks yet ahead of us here. Adam Kinzinger, Congressman, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
You bet. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving. Representative Keith Ellison has garnered heavy support from top Democrats, but one group that's not on board with this Minnesota congressman is the Obama administration. Details on this battle brewing over DNC leadership next.
Spread a little love today, spread a little